Hey everybody, Model Man here, and I recently had the opportunity to acquire the Hasbro Star Wars Legacy Collection Red 2 X-Wing Fighter. One of the things that these boast is that they're really accurate to the actual studio models, so since I happen to have a Captain Cardboard X-Wing right here, which was cast off of the original Pyro models, or what was left of them, it's not going to be close, but it is fairly definitive. There was also the Mike Salzo studio scale X-Wing, which is completely out of production. So this is pretty much the only game in town for getting as close to what really happened there is. And keep in mind that each X-Wing that they built was slightly different from each other. So just because this is one of them doesn't mean this is accurate to all of them, or particularly any one of them. However, I've seen a few things about the Hasbro toys, and certainly this blows away what Kenner did back in the 70s. It's a really good size. It's just about 1.5 feet long, pretty close to the studio scale models from what I understand. And of course, the one design thing about this is that it's geared around the action figures. So I'm not expecting this to be totally accurate, but for what it looks like, it's pretty darn nice. A couple of things that strike me immediately are the gap in the wings isn't very cool, but there's probably really no way around that at all. And if you try to line up this side of the wings so they're on, that kind of throws this side of the wings off just a little. The paint job is pretty close. I'll go get some reference for what Red 2 actually looked like on that. As far as the toy goes, this thing totally kicks ass. I gotta say that. This was produced in 2002, 10 years ago now, being 2012 right now. The landing gear is pretty accurate. I know that much at least. And some of the details on the guns here are definitely really, really nice. The scribing lines, they're kind of soft, but they're pretty much what you might expect from a toy. Not too much in the way of seam lines. The wings and the guns are detachable, and there's an example of how wobbly the guns can get. I am debating the idea when I do my proper X-Wing is redoing this and accuratizing it as much as possible, and that would include replacing these gun barrels with aluminum or brass. The nose looks a little short to me, but it may not necessarily be so. The droid pit is definitely too large, but again, it has to be made for this guy here. And I imagine that throws off the droid trench as well. The detail on the back is certainly suggestive of the proper X-Wings, but I don't know why they have all those little holes in there. There's a few versions of these out there. There's Red 1, Red 2 here obviously, and then I think a couple versions of Luke's Red 5. There's a Dagobah version, the Light and Sound version, and maybe one other of that one as well. I'm pretty sure they're all the same mold. If not, they may be slightly different. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube if you want to go doing some research. I've seen a few of the reviews for Red 2 specifically, and they do note that the wings are kind of, they definitely don't squeeze down. They're kind of floppy and that kind of thing. But when this originally came out, it was somewhere in the $50 range at Target alone. And right now on Amazon, this is selling for $130 plus shipping. I happen to get this on eBay for $75 shipped. So I just really wanted to snap it up. Primarily because I'm painting my car as Red 2, so it was kind of that sentimental attachment. Getting a couple figures is nice, and they also give you these ladders as well. Definitely not accurate to what was going on in the movie at all, but again, they're good for the figures. The diorama this comes in is definitely nice. The way it ships is with these two wings taken off and stowed away so it actually fits in this area. But that's a really nice idea and a really great display piece for it. I'm probably going to be keeping this box if I have any room for it. It is a fairly decent box that again lends itself to the display as well. As to the X-Wing here, I got this just over 2.5 years ago. I do have a review of this on YouTube. I'll try and put a link in this video to that if you want to see it, because the purpose of this video is not to review this particular model. So let me pull some of these pieces out and we'll do a side-by-side and take a look.